One more time.
You got it?
But that's not me. Okay, that's weird. Hold on a second. Yeah, okay.
You got it?
Yeah, I wanted to do it on my computer, not on my phone,
No, you
but it may just
can't
have to,
do it.
yeah.
Well,
Um,
welcome. Hey, girl.
Hi.
One more time.
I was trying to log on my computer, but hey, here I am. Hi.
Yes, Instagram is not that advanced. I know I tried to do it on my computer too. I was like, let me Google it before I look like a fool. But no, you only can do it on your phone.
Okay.
Everything is on your
I
phone.
feel like I'm so cloudy. Do I look cloudy to
No, you
you?
don't. You look good.
Okay, good.
Good.
Great.
Yes,
Yay.
welcome. Welcome to What's Your Mean the Conversation series. Tonight we will be talking. Hey, who are you? Ike, New Jersey. Hey. So we will be talking about personal style. I have written a book I'm so proud of. I'm so thankful. It's going to be released on October 3rd. So we're going to be diving into the topics. Males, you are definitely welcome because there's a special chapter for you, chapter 4. But we're going to be diving into personal style, defining what personal style means to you, and knowing the difference between style, fashion, and also just having a mission for your personal style. Because personal style is
Love that.
fashion is a moment. So I'm going to read a nice little passage from my book. And then we're going to dive right into the dialogue with Eliza from Wardrobe Boss, which we will get all into her business a little bit later. But let's get into the topic. So the beginning section, the introduction chapter, I get into what is the difference between personal style and fashion, because it is always asked. And I'm reading my section from the book. So I ultimately define fashion as a self-expression, depending on how you talk or how you dress. Fashion can be a self-expression of the latest, greatest, and most popular trends out right now. Fashion takes our attention away from ourselves. Fashion can be a way to distance yourself from yourself, which may be a desirable thing for some people at some point in time. But my core audience is looking to dress for other reasons that make sense for their future, last a long time, and keep the focus on them. When it comes to personal style, though, it is where your personality shines through, and it is reflective in what you wear, how you feel in your clothes, and how you select and shop for clothes and accessories. Personal style brings our attention and attention directly to ourselves. It is a way to have a closer relationship with yourself. I have a whole chapter on that later on, but we're not going to get into it now, as its focus and orientations are on the self and how it's informed and expressed in clothing choices. I know you're probably thinking, what the hell is the difference, Mikara? Fashion forms a relationship with the internal things that are irrelevant to your lifestyle, body shape, and core identity, while personal style forms a relationship with the internal things that are relevant to your lifestyle, body shape, and core identity. With fashion changing every so often, you can dig yourself into debt, create confusion and inconsistency with your image, or convey the wrong message. So, my question for tonight, which is like the overall spectrum of tonight's discussion, how do you define personal style? And since you are in the fashion industry, I had to do a couple of layers. So how did you define your personal style when you were in your 20s?
So that, first of all, I love your introduction, because one thing that stood out to me, it's so good. And I know where you're coming from, because you feel like when you said, what the hell are you talking about, Mikara? Some people are not going to get you on that level, but you were really dropping some heavy jewels. And I'm glad that you brought that up, because you said fashion can take you away from yourself. That was a really great way to put it, because it can. And so to answer your question, in my 20s, right, if you ask me, define your style in your 20s, I would probably say, well, I was creative on a below the baller budget, right? I shopped fast fashion, and I absolutely followed the trends. And I mixed and matched everything I had to the best of my ability, but I didn't know who I was, okay?
Yeah.
So I was really dressing for other people, not myself, okay? Because I didn't know who I was, and I was discovering who I was. So in my 20s, I had no idea. And I did walk into a room at that time wanting to impress people and wanting to be noticed, because that's what I thought that I had to do. And so I wasn't at my confidence game. Okay, I was learning who I was. So to answer your question, in my 20s, that's what it was for me. It was more fashion than style. Although I did have my own style, I will say that. But it was more of being a follower and discovering who I was.
Okay. I would definitely have to say I was definitely in a discovery phase, but I was heavy into thrift stores. I just loved digging into the thrift stores and going back in time. And accessories have always been my thing. So I don't want to say I was chasing fashion. I just love the excitement of just finding one of a kind pieces in thrift stores. So unintentionally, I was balling on a budget, but I just love the discovery of just finding stuff, going to estate sales, garage sales. Like, I got very creative even before I even decided I wanted to be into fashion. I have pictures where I was just 21 or 20 and people are like, that's you. And I'm like, yeah, like I've always been into vintage. And I'm like, yeah, I only paid like $20, or I got this for like $5. But yeah, I would have to say that I just loved one of a kind. I did not like looking like everyone else. And I love mixing the modern with the very old. So I was like an old young lady, as someone would say.
And where did that come from?
Before I got into fashion, I worked in the health field. So while I was going to school, I was working with elderly, and some of my mannerism or like the jewelry, like they identified. So they were like, "You're like a young old lady," and I'm like, "All right, I'll take it." So,
It's interesting to know where people develop their style from. Like, what are the things you collect in life as you go along? So that's why I asked you that. And you see, that's fascinating to me, because now I can connect that. And it's like, oh, that makes perfect sense.
yes. Yeah, I was around a lot. I was around older people, and they're like, "Oh, I got some earrings, and when you come back, I'm going to show you." And I'm like, "All right, I'm going to show you all of my jewelry collection." So yeah, I just love the discovery and just looking at, that's how I got like fascinated with stuff. So
nice.
So now that you are a mature woman, how would you define your personal style now?
That's a really good question. I have a signature style, right? And my personal style aligns with my core beliefs, and my personal style aligns with my lifestyle. Right. And I no longer feel like I have to impress anybody. I don't feel like I need to walk into the room and be seen. I don't feel like I need to be the best dressed, because I know who I am. So I do have an authenticity and a confidence about my own personal style. And that's not arrogance, right? It's not arrogance. I just know who I am and I own it. And I've evolved into that as well. Like, I know my lifestyle, so I dress for my lifestyle. I'm not running around the city looking like Sex in the City with Jimmy Choos on so that everyone can look at me and I can, act like I'm Sarah Jessica Parker. That's not my lifestyle. Right. So I know who I am. I know how to own it. And another thing about my personal style is that I really enjoy opening my closet and either really liking or loving everything in there. That does not mean that everything has to be designer. So please hear me clearly, because it's not about that, right? But I really enjoy loving what's in my closet. And when I say like that my personal style aligns with my core values, like I am more of a minimalist, and people don't think that. People are like, they think I have so many clothes because I'm very creative in how I mix and match things. But I don't have so many clothes and so many shoes. I honestly don't like that. And, it doesn't work for me. And I think it doesn't work for most people. And when I coach my clients, they love like this minimalistic wardrobe. And so that's part of my lifestyle. And so I really live by it. Like, I don't live past the real estate in my home because I live in an apartment in Manhattan. So as you can imagine, I have a very small amount of real estate. And so I don't want to live out that real estate because then you're like, I don't know what I have and everything's on top of each other, and that doesn't help anybody. So all of those things really do go along with my personal style.
Right. Okay. And what would you say your top 3 core values are when you are dressing?
Well, I think if I had to like describe what my style was, I would definitely say classic, clean, and with an edge. Like, I have to
Okay.
inject style somewhere in there and my own way, right? So, and when I say clean, I mean the way things fit, right?
Mm-hmm.
Presentation. I think presentation it's always been very important to me. I don't know why, but as a kid, I really loved clothes more than I loved fashion. I just loved the way clothes were made. I loved the way clothes look on people. My mother dressed beautifully. My aunts dressed beautifully. Even my father was a great dresser. So, I saw that, and, my dad was a very sharp, clean dresser, and he was a military guy. And so, there were always shoe trees in his shoes in the closet. His belts were always organized. I never saw like a sloppy, I guess, dad. And so that always just stuck with me. And I think that just kind of became ingrained with my own sense of style. And so, I think that's what I mean by clean, like sharp, because you don't have to have, you don't have to have the most expensive clothes to be polished. And a little polish brings a lot of power. I think a little polish goes a long way. So that's my answer.
Yes. Okay. I would describe my style. I feel like my style changes like every 10 years. I'm in my 30s and it has completely changed from when I was in my 20s. It's not because I got bigger. I actually got smaller, but I would say I dress for comfort first because I do a lot of moving around, and I need to be able, I would say comfort, versatile, and gaudy. My accessories are very gaudy. I'm bald. I have nothing. I just have face. And I don't like to wear a lot of makeup. I'm not like a big makeup girl. I will wear a papa lip, some mascara, make sure my eyebrows are good, but the accessories, it's just gaudy. But that is my thing. Even on my down days, I still can have a amazing jacket, like a motorcycle jacket or a vintage denim jacket, and then I still have a t-shirt, some stretch pants on, and then like some like avant-garde earrings. It just has to be, and then my nails have to be done. Like, that's another thing. So I dress for comfort, versatility, and quality. I don't know, my parents
love
not,
that.
huh?
I love that. I love that.
Yeah, I don't come from a fashion like family. In my childhood, I actually was a track star. So comfort is like, putting on track suits or stretch pants, like that is like my comfort zone. I have ran AAU, so I'm like all about just being comfortable. And I know sometimes you cannot be comfortable when you're fashion forward, but I still have to like incorporate it in some shape or form. As far as like, where did I get it from? I'm gonna have to definitely say watching my uncle. I would watch my uncle when I was spending the night over my grandmother's house. he was a detective, so he would work like the overnight shift. So when he would get up on Fridays, because Fridays was his nights off, I would sit on these stairs and just watch my uncle get ready to go to the club every Friday night. And he would tell me to go pick out his cologne. And when it was wintertime, I remember he told me to go get that Donna Cara coat. And he was the first male I ever watched wear salmon pink. That's not pink, that's salmon pink. All right, Uncle.
Right.
So I just admired that. And then also just looking at my aunt, she used to get her outfits made. And I was like, man, are you rich? This is like before Instagram. This is like in the 1995. And
Right.
she would just get all dolled up just to go party. She would go pay a seamstress, get her outfits made. And I just thought that was just like so glamorous, because all you would see that was that stuff on TV and maybe like a couple of people in New York. But other than that, yeah, no, my parents are not fashion forward. They're just regular folks. I don't know. I just fell in love with just going inside the thrift store, and I just grabbed on quick.
You know what's interesting that you said about your uncle, that he was a detective, and I'm just cracking up because my dad was a detective. So it must have been something about these detectives that they had to be sharp. So I think that's pretty funny. And, you know, I love what you said about the jewelry, especially the estate jewelry, because I have to tell you this. I find this with so many of my clients. They're like, my grandmother left me her jewelry collection, or my mom, my aunt, somebody left me the jewelry collection. Then they show me the jewelry, right? It's a mix of fine and costume. And they're like, you know, I don't know what to do with this. And I'm thinking to myself, you're sitting on a pot of gold here, and it's just to have fun with it, right? If it's fine jewelry and it's heirloom jewelry, I get that. If you want to wear that for special occasions, but the thing is, they left it to you to wear it, to use it. So like, I appreciate that you took advantage of that, because there are so many women that they're like, look, and then they show me this thing, and they're like, and I don't know what to do with it. So I love to get in their closet and to help them incorporate it, because that's the reason someone left you their collection, is so that you can enjoy it and you can use it and you can give it new life when they're gone. So I love that you do that.
Yeah, I had this elderly lady. She had all boys. She had 5 boys, but she had so much jewelry. And she's like, I want you to have it, because I've seen you work here for 2 years, and you had different earrings. And sometimes when you work double, I saw you switch your earrings. And I'm like, you paid attention? So she's like, I contacted your manager and I asked them, can I give this to you? Because, you know, they can't give it to you.
Right.
So so my manager at the home agency agreed to it. So she's like, I want her to have this. So she had given me like all of this jewelry, like earrings, the pins, to sew the buttons on. I was just like, oh my God, this is so beautiful. I still have some of this stuff, but man, oh man, do I love accessories. I don't care about anything else but accessories. I'm like a little kid in a candy shop.
They're very important accessories, very important.
Yes.
You know, I feel like I always tell my clients, like, you start with a blank canvas and then you elevate that and then you finish the look. You always have to finish the look, and accessories are very important. And I find that people are intimidated by accessories, even belts. I'm like, belts are so important, and people are like, I have 2 belts or 3 belts. And right, there's never any judgment, but then I've got to push them into that. And then some people are like, I never thought I would wear a belt. I never thought I would be into belts. And, you know, sometimes it's just something that simple. That's why your book is so important, and your approach in your book is so important, because not everybody is born with that. You know, I was born, I just so happened to fall in love with clothing, right? You got it from your uncle or whatever it is. And I think there are many people, men and women, who don't have that, and they try to like figure it out. You know, there's 2 people on this line. One of them is, I want to tell you this quick story. It's a young man I met in Soho on Prince Street at the train station. And he's like half my age, and I just loved his style. And I don't know, we just started talking, and we've remained friends ever since, because this kid has such an amazing, unique style.
Mm-hmm.
And I, I appreciate that. I love going around and complimenting people. And, it's important for the book that you wrote, because I think there are people who can't connect to that organically,
Yeah.
and they need to know, well, what do I do to discover my style, right? And I'm sure that's the reason that you wrote this book.
Oh, God, yes. I go very, very extensive. Each chapter is a concept. The first concept is finding your mission. And finding your mission has to do with what's going on in your overall life, because it needs to align with your wardrobe. So I go very extensive. If you are not ready or prepared to do any personal development with your wardrobe makeover, then this book is not for you. But yeah, I mentioned in the book, like, you never heard anyone say like, oh, I gained weight, I can't fit this necklace. So I
Right.
mean, yeah, so like accessories will always be wearable, no matter if you gain weight, you lose weight, you're sick, you have you can just throw it on and it brings life to your outfit.
And I love that you said that, right? Because sometimes somebody said this to me once, and it just stuck with me, because it was a great thing that this person said. He said that even when he's having a bad day and he doesn't feel good, when he wears clothes, it brings him back at some point in the day to connect to feeling good again, because he's enjoying what he's wearing.
Yeah.
And I thought, wow, what a great way to fake it till you make it. So I think it's very important that you said that, because sometimes you've got to push yourself. You can't just stay there and expect something to change. And I think that one thing that I notice is that there are people in very high positions that have really worked hard in their careers and really have made it to such a high position, and they have everything going. And the one thing that sometimes holds them back is that they do not elevate their style. So what
Yes.
happens is, when you are invited to do a TED talk, or a big talk somewhere, people love what you have to say, but they are watching you. So if you look dated, they're going to have a little bit of less respect for you. And I know somebody might be thinking, that's terrible to say. It's true.
It's
So I'm
true.
going to say it.
Yeah, your
Okay?
image says so many things. The clothes, the silhouette, the style, the color alone, color psychology alone sets the tone.
Yes.
Yeah, it sets the tone, and also just knowing the shade for your undertone as well. It's just so many layers. I mean, it's a nonverbal communication, and 70% of your talking of yeah, 70% of communication is nonverbal. So when I speak to my clients or anyone that's just talking to me, when you walk into the door and you have no chance to speak, like, your image speaks before you actually get a word out. So it's very important that your image is together. I'm not saying your style needs to be fashion forward, but your whole presentation visually needs to be like on point. I can be wearing my usual my down day, my gaudy accessories, a t-shirt, a jacket, and someone could say, hey, are you in the fashion industry? Because I can tell. And I'm just like, how can you tell? And it's just, I'm saying this is not my best day, but people still can tell because of my visual presentation is consistent. Even on my bad days, my mid days, and my best days, it's still a consistency of my visual presentation.
Yeah, and people need to align that to who they are authentically, right? If you know that you're not going to walk around the city with 4-inch heels, then that's fine. You don't have to, right? But you find the shoe that fits you, that fits your lifestyle, but that also has, a little something. You've got to be sharp. You've got to be polished. And if you're like, well, I'm too afraid to wear colors, then like you said, then you can use accessories. There's so many ways to do it, but you've got to find what fits you, because when some, you know, the comfort factor that you said is super important. And I'm not talking about Lululemon comfort factor, right? But you've got to be comfortable, because if you're not comfortable in an outfit,
It's gonna
you're
show.
not going to own it. Of course
Yeah.
it's going to show. Exactly, right? When a person walks into the room, it's the first thing they're going to notice, and then they're going to be self-conscious, because they're like, why did I wear this dress? You know, is my back fat
Right.
showing? Is like
Is it
whatever it
turning too
is, right?
much? You should
So
have
I
fixed it
think
at
it's
home, girl.
right. So you've got to know what works for you. What works for me is not going to work for you. What looks good on you, it's not going to look good on me. You've got to know your lane. And then when you're in your lane, it doesn't mean you only stay in that lane. You rock in your lane, but then you elevate it as you
Right.
go, as you get more confident, as you discover who you are, as you discover, oh my gosh, I didn't know I could wear yellow or orange. This is amazing. Like, and there's no reason to be intimidated of clothes. They're just clothes. Nothing to be
Yeah.
intimidated about.
I definitely break it down. Like, I know my introduction in the book is like, it's longer than a usual, but it's informative. But you just gotta find what's best for you, and you cannot be a copycatter shopper, because you just taking stuff off of the mannequin or what the girl wore. You're just putting yourself back 10 times back. Like, I call it the follow the fashion game. It's similar to follow the leader, but you're following the leader and you don't even know what your intention, what your mission. Do you know what your body shape is? Do you know what color? Do you have a color palette? What are your calendar activities, so you know what fabrics is compatible with what you're doing? Yeah, what are you dressing for? Like, are you traveling? When you work, do you sit down most of the day? Like, you have to know all of this. And man, oh man, do I do a very extensive layout and exercises for people to practice. But yeah, it's a lot that goes into it. We're not just here to, well, maybe some stylists do it, but the real holistic ones really need to hone in on the personal style, the person, the core, the
Right.
identity
Right.
of who you are, so that it can align with your everyday lifestyle.
And that's why I love the fact that you put a book together, because, and I want you to talk about the name of your book again. I mean, this is your
Mm-hmm.
live, but you know, what I think is really important that you said is that, you know, sometimes people say, I don't want to clean my house. I don't want to spend time cleaning my house. I don't want to spend time cleaning your house. If you don't want to spend time cleaning your house, then hire a person to clean your house. You know why? Because it saves you time.
Right.
And that time saves you energy. And that energy, it's worth you paying for it if it's buying you time. It's the same thing with a stylist. If you don't know what you're doing, and that is an area that you've been neglecting, which is no judgment, because you're married, because your career, because your kids, because you have to take care of your elderly parents,
Right.
all of that is understandable. We all go through it. But when in doubt, hire a professional, especially if it's going to take you to the next level. Find the person who works for you. It doesn't mean that, yes, are personal stylists costly? They are, but you know, you're getting what you pay for, and you do your research and you find the person who works for you. But this is not a throwaway thing. This is, you know, for anyone who says, oh, well, I don't really care what I look like, or it's because you're not in tune with loving yourself. I don't care what anybody says. If you don't care about what you look like, you're not in tune with loving yourself. Again, no
Yeah,
judgment, but
self-awareness.
let's
No
call it what it
self-awareness.
is. Yeah, because that's what we're here for. And it's okay to love yourself, and it's okay to have self-awareness, and it's okay to look good. You don't have to feel guilty because you want to look better and other people can't handle it. That's their problem.
Yeah. I definitely think it's important for people to vet some stylists,
Yes.
because a lot of my clients come to me, they've already had a stylist before, or a personal shopper. There's a distinction between a personal shopper and a stylist. I definitely
Yes.
put that in the Q&A, but they come to me, they're very skeptical. So they pick my brain, which I don't mind now, because I've just noticed a trend of the clients that come to me, they've experienced it and it's always bad. So yeah, it's always bad. And then I have to, I have to answer their questions to make them feel comfortable. And when I provide like my technique of why I'm doing or why am I asking these certain questions, is because you have to align your wardrobe with what you do every day.
Yes.
I'm trying to set you up with whatever you're going. I mean, you may be someone in the C-level management and you have about 3 to 5 negotiations, or maybe you have showings. You need to put your best foot forward, not only
Yes.
with your knowledge and your expertise, but you also need to be visually, pleasing when you are pristine. When you are in front of these people, you're oftentimes getting prejudged by
Yeah.
people before you're doing business affairs. So it's important that you look your best, and not only look your best, but your closet needs to be organized. Because if you're screaming, "Where's my damn shirt?" or "Where's my tie?" "Where's that? Where's my other sock?" You need to be, that's losing time, that's losing energy, that's
Yes.
being frustrated, and you're supposed to be focused on work. You're supposed to be focused on putting stuff together.
Yeah.
You're already starting your day off all wrong. So, I
Mhm.
mean, depending on how you vet your stylist or what your end goal is, definitely know what you want out of hiring a stylist. Know what their specialties are, because each of us are different. Because Eliza is a stylist as well, based in New York City. She has her specialty. I have my specialty. We both do closet organization, but the way she does it is totally different from
Right.
what I do. But yeah, vetting, I think people definitely need to get into that conversation. Because yes, a lot of stylists call themselves, a lot of shoppers call themselves stylists, and you just pretty much pick up items or find great deals. You don't know, you don't have the knowledge, or maybe some do, I don't know, but I'm just speaking in general. You don't have the knowledge and expertise or the connections or the built rapport of pulling clothes or putting together outfit. Or in my sake, I can draft up a pattern and put stuff together, or rework clothes. You
Right.
may not know how to do that. Do you know how to sew? Yes?
I
No?
do not know
Okay.
how to sew, but your
So yeah,
point is, yeah.
but that's the thing. Like, people need to ask like specific questions, because
Yes.
everyone's knowledge or expertise or skill level is like higher than others.
Right. And you make a really good point, because you have a very extensive background
Mm-hmm.
in fashion. You have so many different avenues that you've worked in. And so that's really important. Me too. I have so many different avenues and I guess education. We have a certain level of education. And no, I don't know how to sew, but I know clothes. I know how they're made. And so that's what makes us at a certain level in our game. We're not somebody who's coming in from a store and now all of a sudden I'm a stylist because I know how to put an outfit together. This is
I'll say
way
something about that in a
beyond
minute
that.
too.
We have, yes, we have extensive education in this. You've even modeled, like you
Yeah.
have a much different skill set than I do. But I say that to say, not to brag on us, but just to say, yes, you need someone who really knows what they're doing, who knows clothing, who knows how clothing's made, who knows the difference between contemporary, advanced designer. Like, there's just so many things to it. It's not just, I know how to put an outfit together and here
Right.
you go and I'm so fabulous. It's not that. And she's written a book because she knows what she's doing. She's modeled, she's designed. There's so much you've done, Mikara, and I'm really so proud of you for making this
Oh,
book. I feel like
child.
it's about
It's
time,
been a
girl,
long
because
time.
yeah, you have a lot to offer. And I'm here to celebrate that and celebrate you.
Yes, it's been a long time. So let's dive into what my book is.
Yes.
So it's called What's Your Mean? The name of my company is MIIEN Consultancy, but the book is called What's Your Mean? And the subtitle is Discover Your Fashion Identity. Mean, I am spelling out, each chapter is spelling out a concept in a word. So mean, M stands for mission. I'm not going to finish the rest, but today we covered mission. So each chapter is a concept, and I have a case study, client story, exercises for you to practice, and of course, a lesson in jewels. The first chapter is me in my 20s. So I dive into me finding my own fashion identity by simply a haircut. And then that leads into me just, just trying to figure my fashion identity out. And also me living in Miami. I'm a New Jersey girl living in Miami, going to school, and I just got very frustrated. So so there's stories in there that fall into how I found my fashion identity. I have chapter 2 is a new mom. She lost her confidence and how that depleted her image. And then chapter 3, I have a corporate woman. She could buy whatever she want at the drop of a dime. She wanted to spend $10,000 on a suit, she could buy it, but there was something she did not have, and that is the name of chapter 3. And chapter 4 is my guy. I had so much fun bothering him for this. So for him, he's a divorcee, and pretty much his wife dressed him, and his wife just set him up for disaster. And he was very stagnant. So, so he got divorced, and he moved, and he wanted a new, he just wanted a new way of life. He stumbled across a friend at a bar, and I got referred like him. He went through a couple of stylists, and I was his third one. So he kind of picked my brain. That's in the book as well. And we have like a one-on-one, and I'm just a very transparent type of girl, so I'm ready to have conversations. So we have that in the book. You guys will see, you guys will learn. And then the last one is my content creator, and she did not really have a great companionship with her fashion, meaning her personal style. It was a disconnect. So, she's using, content creators, they use fashion very disposable. So the name of the chapter is what she was missing. So, and there's also like in between chapters of each letter. So, and then also the exclamation mark. There's a reason why there's a gap between exclamation mark and the question mark. So exclamation mark is it's pretty much the unspoken word of woman, your femininity. Like there's no word for it. It's an exclamation mark. So that chapter is all about femininity, women using your femininity, your softness into your look. So yes, that is my book. I worked very
And where
hard
can
on
people
it.
find your book?
That's my book. I started it during the pandemic, since I had drastically changed. Yeah, since I did your podcast, everything has shifted. Of course, the fashion industry was pretty much shut down, and that was like a large percentage of my revenue. So there was none of that, and I had like a small percentage of my corporate people's still, hey, I still need help because I'm still going to hearings, I'm still going to court via Zoom, I'm still doing, meetings via Zoom. I need to look good, and then I need to like restructure my closet. So I still had them. So my mentor was like, well, you still have clients. People are like looking for clients, and you still have clients. He's like, I think you should shift your business model. So I did that. And while I was doing that, I just said, I might as well just start writing my book. Because I initially wanted to write a book. I just didn't know what phase in my life I wanted to write a book. But I had always started writing. I always doodle. I always have ideas. I'm kind of crazy, but yeah, it just made sense while I had a lot of downtime and just observing everything, and it just made sense. I just reached back to my old clients. I re-interviewed them like, hey, I'm writing a book. I would like to relive this story because I think this is suiting for the concept of this chapter. And I did, yeah. So that's what it was. I changed their names around, of course,
Right.
to keep their identity. But yeah, I have my team. I had an author coach. Man, oh man, finding everything else was just a lot. But we got through it. The books will be here at my warehouse on this Friday. So yeah, I'm excited. I'm in super like promo mode right now. We are like less than 2 months away.
This is so exciting. So you're going to have to come back on my podcast and talk about it. But you know what I really love is the personal stories. And I love that you used yourself as a personal story, right? Because what better way to get your to know your stylist if she's than her being transparent about her own style journey.
Right.
Come on. I mean, I love that you did that. I love that you used all your expertise, but the personal stories are a big deal, especially when they see how you interact with them, because then they see your level of skill, and then they see where you had a person, where they started, and where you took them to. And that, I know, is really the beauty for you, because with my clients, that is the beauty for me. I always look at them like a closed flower, and then I see these people blossom.
Right.
And I mean, I have some clients that I'm like, I don't even recognize you anymore. Like, who are you? You're so like amazing and fabulous, and like their whole energy and aura changes because they're owning it. And you know, it's nice to to go little by little with them, instead of just saying, right, it's more than about us just saying, here, wear this. No, it's not about that. We're teaching you what works for you, what works for your body type, what works for your lifestyle, what works for the industry you're in, what works for your life, period. And what you like, not what we tell you what to wear, but what you like and what you're comfortable in. That's what makes you own it. And the beauty of seeing people coming to like this just great place and being so confident in who they are, like that is the cherry on the cake for me. That is such a like the biggest compliment I can have, to see someone blossom and be so happy and owning their style. I feel like I just maybe brought a little more sunshine to the world. And it's something as silly as wardrobe, right? People are probably like, oh, get over yourself, girl.
I know, right?
It's just clothes. But to us, it's not. It's a passion for me, as it is for you.
Yeah, I love when they're like checking themselves out twice, like, oh, is that me? Is that me? I'm like, yeah, that's you. Should keep checking yourself out. Yes. I think it's fun. It feels like it feels like, yeah, I'm helping you get ready. Like, go ahead, check yourself out twice in the mirror. Yes. I think
Agreed.
I love it. But so we're gonna wrap this up. This was a nice little discussion. I love this.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Yes, I was like, let me reach out to her, since I've been I'm like so hibernating, but I had to finish the book. But let's get to know about you, where people can find you, what you do, what your specialty, because I will be definitely sharing this on my other platforms as well. So, Liza,
thank you.
Know your business. She's also a stylist. Let's get into it.
So I'm Eliza, and I am a New York City-based stylist, although I travel everywhere. I have clients in London. I have clients on the West Coast. So I travel wherever clients need me. And I am just really passionate about helping people really live out their own authenticity through their own personal style. Whatever, we develop the style as we go along. But I love to start with people where they are and say, okay, we work little by little until you get to be the best version of yourself. And I feel like it's like an overused term, but it really is what I do. I'm very passionate about that, and I love to see people really live out their full potential in wardrobe, because it's not about the clothes, it's about the confidence. And once you own like your style, your confidence follows, and that really does create a happier person and a happier life. And it also branches out into different parts of your life. I really believe your home should be happy. And so for me, it's not just about wardrobe, but like you said, your drawers have to be, organized. Your home should be organized. Your home is your little heaven on this earth. And so I feel like it all ties together. It's very important. And I'm just really a coach to help people get to their best authentic self and just be happy. And I do it through wardrobe, and that's what I do. And where do I live? I live right here on Instagram. I don't post that much, but I'm always in my stories. I'm here. You can always find me here. You can inbox me if you have any questions. If you're like, I'm visiting New York, where can I shop that's not like a store that that's not Vuitton, that's not, what are these little niche shops in New York? Where can I get this? I want something made. Where should I, those kind of things. I'm happy to help, but I'm here today supporting my friend. She wrote a book. Mikara wrote a book, and she really knows a lot about the fashion industry. She's been in it for a long time. She knows a lot of different aspects of it. And, to write a book is a big thing. And she's writing a book from a place of expertise. Like, she knows her craft. So if you are a person who's like, you know what, maybe it's time that I start looking at, revamping my style, right? Or refreshing my style. I think her book is a great introduction because she talks about her own personal journey, but she also brings you into the journeys of her clients, which is very personal.
Right.
It's very personal. And it's not easy for people to have to listen to us because there's a lot of psychology behind it too. There's personal things they have to share with us, and there's personal bridges we may have to cross to get to where they're going. And that's all part of the process, but we love it. And I'm really so happy for you that that you wrote a book, because this is something that could change your life for a better way, and you live it. So I'm like I said, I'm just here to support you and champion you and cheer you on.
Yes.
But that's where you can find me, right on Instagram at Wardrobe Boss.
Yes. Okay. Woo, child. This has been so, I really like this. This was very, very fun.
Yeah.
Thanks for tuning in. What You Mean, the conversation series. If you guys are interested in the giveaway, I have a giveaway. If you want to enter the giveaway, definitely log on to www.MIIEN, that's MIIEN.co/giveaway. And those are the instructions to enter the giveaway. I will be doing a weekly book giveaway. Yes, I said weekly. I will be announcing 3 winners every Wednesday at 6 a.m. When you log on the website, you will see how I will be announcing. But every week, I will be handing out 3 different winners until the book is released. So if you guys are interested, definitely log on. Or if you don't want to go through the hassle, for a week, I'm going to give you a 10% discount. Use the word mission, all lowercase, because that was our topic for today. It's the style mission. So the password is mission if you want to use the 10% discounts. My name is Mikara Reid. Thanks so much for tuning in. This is so much fun. We're going to be doing this next week. We're gonna have a nice little co-host. But Liza, if you want to join, girl, come on, join.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you for having me. I just want to say hi to the people joining. If you have any questions, you can hit up Mikara. You can hit me up. E-Levels, I see you. My podcast producer was on as well, Ken. So thank you guys for joining. I'm really glad that you had me, and I celebrate you. Congratulations on your book. I think it's awesome.
Yes. Next week, I'm going to really have it in my hand because it will be here on Friday. It took like 4 to 5 weeks to print production. Jesus. But all right. We are finally here. Thanks, guys, for tuning in. Bye.
Bye-bye.